one of the things I was asked was I was really experimenting with drying salmon, and I was learning. So this is I've been doing it here and there, and I got asked if I could do one of my subscribers. Thank you. Make sure you push subscribe and drop some comments and let me know another video you'd like me to do. We just got done doing the tuna balls the other day, and now we're going to be doing dried salmon. So go ahead and drop your comments and something that you'd like to see. I'm not saying I'm the best at everything, but I do like trying to learn, and I like everybody that gives me the constructive criticism. And so this was one from one of our subscribers that wanted to know how I'm drying salmon, because if you look at the link, it will send you to my Facebook and you can see all the things I'm always doing. But anyway, so drying salmon. Now, instead of doing it outside and wind drying it, I'm going to do it because I want to kind of hammer this out, and I'm going to show everybody you can use a dehydrator, and this is the way we're going to do it today. And make sure that we can I don't know how to put it, get you started on doing it, and maybe when I catch some more fish or something, maybe it'll probably be next year that I'll get going on doing it outside. So today I'm just pulling some fillets out, and these are my sockeye, bluebacks, blues, reds, depending on wherever you're from, the lingo everybody uses and everything. I wanted to hurry up and kind of get it going. Normally what you'll want to do is, what I learned from my friends, is that you'll want to start in the evening maybe, and then you'll put your little slit, and then you'll take it outside in the evening and you'll just hang them up like this. I was only air drying them today, kind of left them out to dry a little bit to firm up. Then you'll put them all like that and just let them sit there for overnight, and then let them firm up and then get started. Now, one of the things too is, like, I always like to bring my cutting board right back to the edge when I start this. My friend Brandon from Canada, NOS, he was showing me another way, and I'd like to try that. I haven't, but this is the way what we're going to be doing today to lay our fish for drying. Now you're gonna do thin cuts, and when I was doing it, it was, at first when I started, my cuts were crazy thick. Don't get discriminated by that or worry about it. It's just part of learning. Trial and error is how I learn. Self-teaching, and then is kind of what you got to do. So I'll start off. Now, if you do those big thick chunks, don't worry about it. Just cut them in halves or quarters or something like that, so you can use them and they're not going to waste. Now, my racks are like 10 racks. I had purchased a big bite, it's what it's called. I wasn't sure if that was going to work like I wanted it to, but it actually turned out being really nice. I really like it. They came up with a door. Their new technology was a door that's magnetic. I really don't care for it. I don't like it. But other than that, I really like the fan and the other stuff that they got going on. The more that it kind of sits out and dries, the easier it is, because it doesn't get all crazy and mushy or squishy, maybe I'd say. And don't worry about if you do take some of the skin. I really like the skin too when I do this. And I found out more than I always start off going from right to left, left to right, whatever you want to do. Just like kind of like doing jerky in a way, just fitting everything in there. We don't have a whole lot today, so I'm not going to worry about filling in all the gaps or anything like that. And I always do the skins too, so make sure I put my paper towel in my pocket. And then just kind of repeat the process and fill it up, and then I'll get going a little bit more. I like trying to help people when when they're wanting a new YouTube of some sort, because I know that's something that somebody desires or needs, maybe, or maybe you just want to watch it. I don't know. Using my Bubba blades, pretty much all I use is my Bubba blades. I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna make a piece that will fit in there. Then we'll put it in like so. Then I'll cut this off and use my skin. I really like those, the skin parts. Make sure you have a knife that's sharp too. Man, when and a thinner knife too. I've been trying different knives to see. See, like this piece I kind of cut thick. So what I always encourage you to do is just kind of cut the thick parts up a little bit to make them fit, and to make sure they're not taking, because it will take a lot longer when you're doing the thicker pieces. So now there's two ways to do this. There's you can marinate your fish in salt water for, I don't know, 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be too long, and then you're gonna have that salty taste. I normally do that when I'm doing it outside when I'm air drying, or you can just plain and put your Johnnies. For me, I want Johnnies. I like Johnnies. Johnnies and salt, pepper, whatever. I wouldn't put pepper, honestly. So then we're gonna take this rack over and we'll put it in the dehydrator. And I'll give everybody a good look at what's going on once I come back. Right now, I want to concentrate on just doing the cuts on the fish. So, but I'll swing the camera around so we can see that once I fire it up and everything. Sometimes I'll just sit here and I'll do all the cuts first. I don't know, it just depends on what mood I'm in when I'm cutting. And I'll start back on this one. Sometimes it might be easier if you have them turned the other way. You gotta get through those bones, and kind of like I like doing just the tops of it because it's fatter on the top. And then when they kind of get evened out, then I'll make my slices more straight across. But I'll have ridges also that will go up and down, kind of slanted. And I know last year I did one, I was outside doing it in my smoker, and then I got kind of frustrated, and then I was, well, not really frustrated, I was pretty bummed that I sucked at it. So I didn't do the whole thing, and then everybody's like, where's the whole video? And I don't know if I want everybody to see that, because that was like the first time I tried it outside. And what happened was that I had a cold smoke kind of going on it, and those flies, they get into everything, and I was kind of heartbroken with that. So I didn't want to show my outcome of it, what happened. But you gotta start somewhere. Then a lot of my friends are always giving me advice too, so I always appreciate everybody's advice that we're giving. So this part's kind of thick, so I'm gonna make little small ones out of it. Just put them in there. I didn't really get much advice on my walleye though. That's something I'm just gonna have to keep practice on. I don't know. People, I ended up smoking that walleye too. It came out really good. Alright, then this one will go. Sometimes too, if you cut them right away, then they will lose that. You won't have a texture, so it will be really, I don't know how, flaky, I guess. That's how I guess you could describe it. And this one's kind of flaky because it's kind of firm, but it's kind of flaky. So maybe mushy. Yeah, that's probably a better word. Mushy. And you'll notice that that's when you're trying to dry. I firmly believe that if you do sockeye, that's a fish that's way better to dry. The springers and summers are kind of a little bit more tricky, and I just got to get better before I start trying to show that. And when they're kind of mushy or flaky too, that kind of impacts the way how they hold too. You know what I mean? So we'll call that good. Put my Johnnies on. Take this rack over. Be right back. Let's see. Pull out my towel. I'm not putting that back in my pocket after this stuff. That's too crazy. I'll be smelling like fish, and I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna appreciate that. Who's around me. I always smell like fish anyway, or jerky, or alder, or I use alder for everything. I love alder. I haven't strayed away from it at all. My 20 some years of smoking jerky, and I've always just used that alder. I was getting ready, one of my friends was getting ready to give me some apple wood from the orchards, and then I was telling my other friend about it, like I'm excited to use it, and then he was like, man, I wouldn't even use that on your elk or your salmon because it's gonna he was saying because of all the pesticides. And then it started getting me all freaked out, and then I never tried anything else. I think I might have tried hickory once or so. But so I got kind of freaked out, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. So it's up to you though, whether you like the apple wood and whatnot. This is kind of thick, so well, I'm just going to leave it that way. The sockeye are really oily, so I was always trying to think what I could do with the oil from them. I was thinking about just putting them back into my canned salmon to give it even more oily taste. This one I'm probably not going to. Well, yeah, I will. Kind of. Sometimes I'm not really fond of breaking my fish back out after I just literally vacuum packed them, so it's kind of a waste of money to me. But I don't mind. Today I want to get it done, or want to do some. So this one kind of freezer burns, so it doesn't matter. Just add a little bit more salt to it. Find some smaller pieces, and I really like. I think what I wouldn't mind doing is putting a fan on it to give it that firmer, to firm it up faster, like to speed up the process a little bit. I think that's kind of what I do every now and then, just because I'm impatient. We'll call this one good too. And you wonder why you have Johnnies all over your table. I'm gonna bring another one out. I didn't think I pulled that much fish out, but we're kind of filling these little racks up pretty quick. Especially when you get those big cuts that you can fill them up with. And you can see how, like I'm saying with these summers or these springers, you can see this one's like a little jack, but you can see what I'm saying, like kind of how I'm butchering it almost, but not really, but kind of. It's just a mess. It's a lot messier, so I kind of mixing them both in there. I kind of wanted to try it again because I thought the first time I did it, I thought I was just like, did I do something wrong? But after I started talking to some of my other buddies, they're saying that yeah, that's how they are. So now I'm just gonna do it because now my confidence level went back up. So I'm like, yeah, I'll figure it out. Keep trying. I always tell people, keep trying, don't get frustrated. I got that tail down there. I'll just throw that on there too. We'll put that in there. So, clean up my mess. Every time I'm trying to do a video or something like that, I'm always like waiting on the sun, the heat, a light, something, and then here I think I have everything ready, and then I forget stuff. So part of life, I guess. Forgetting. No matter how much I think I'm prepared to do something, I forget something. One time I was going hunting and I forgot my gun, so it's happens to everybody. Regardless of who you are, if you're not focused on exactly what you're doing, stuff like that happens. So let's see. I think we're gonna call that one good too. I don't know if I'm gonna put music in this YouTube or not, because I don't know if I want everybody jamming out or just actually listening to me. To the parts. Sometimes it gets kind of, I don't know. Take another one out. I almost dropped that tray and it almost fell down, and that's what I don't like about that door. If you get the big bite dehydrator, that door just annoys me. I think they should have something where you can pop it off, and in my opinion, I'll tell them in their review, not like they're going to listen to me, but in my opinion, I don't like that door. It's a new thing they came out with, and I find it more annoying trying to deal with a door that magnetically holds, and I'll go over that too. And it slides up and down, and God, it drives me nuts. Here, this one I cut a little bit thick, so that's gonna be really, I'm not gonna worry about it. There we go. I'm debating too whether, like, how I want to fast forward. I like to fast forward things too, especially if it's repetitious, but in this it's not, I don't feel like it's repetitious, it is, but I just don't feel like it's gonna need to be fast forward. One of the things too I was getting told was that the music's too loud, you can't hear me, so I've been working on that stuff too. So trying to get everything up there to where I'm gonna finally get it down. I hope I finally get it down to where I can actually present everything to where it's, I don't know, I don't want to say 100%, but it's in the A's. If I'm gonna give it a grade, it'd be in the A's. I think it's just a lot of stuff I like to do. I try to do stuff that's different, so when you're looking it up or you're watching me, you're gonna see that there's stuff that I always try to do that every now and then there's stuff that people haven't done. At least around here anyway. Maybe there's somewhere someone else has done, but not around here. A lot of stuff I haven't seen. So I like to do that. Do stuff that people around here haven't been doing, so then that way you can try it yourself. See what, oh, maybe this is something I want to try or I like doing, and I think that's really cool. And then people come up and say, hey, I was trying what you did and it didn't come out good, but it doesn't matter when you're first trying it. If it doesn't come out good, whether you're doing jerky or you're drying your fish for the first time, just keep trying. You're just gonna get better at it. So alright, we're gonna call that one good too. Some people like a lot of salt, and some people don't like salt, depending on your health and whatnot. Me, I'm not. I don't know. Salt is not something I like to put a lot on. Then this is my last one, so I'm gonna turn it on, and then I like how I get these really big full ones like that. I like them. This is something I take hunting with me too, or vice versa. I always kind of like to do, when I'm fishing, I like to eat my elk or all those snacks from the fall. When I'm hunting, I like to eat my fishing stuff, so everybody's like, how do you eat that much? And honestly, I don't get tired of salmon or elk, I just like to eat it all the time. It's always a perfect snack. Try to keep my area clean. I'm starting to salt everything else around me, so. Alright, my last sockeye, blueback. I always call them bluebacks, so everybody on the videos are already asking me, what is bluebacks? That's some of my Canadian friends, they call them reds because they're so red. Just the opposite. I call them bluebacks because when you look at them, their backs are blue. Sockeye, everyone will say sockeye. You mean sockeye? Yeah. That too. Try to get this next one going down. I'm actually getting good cuts off this one, so I'm gonna save that. I'll do some smaller ones that I can get on there without. If I don't have to cut them in half or anything, I like to do that. And then what I'll do is just get these other two on here real quick. Like that. It don't really matter actually because I only have 2 left, so it's not a big deal. And then since I'm on here, I don't mind. I'm just going to wash this after this anyway, so I'm done pretty much. Well, done for cutting anyway, so. Oh yeah, one more. So then when we put it in, we'll grab our other one and put it in. Make sure everything's put in. This will help or plug it in too. Plugged in, turn it on, start. It should be 5 times. And it should be like 5 times. All right, so now I'm gonna switch over real quick to the big bite. And I'm going to drop the camera down so we can kind of get parallel into it. Alright, so now that we have, now this is what I'm talking about, is the door. It's magnetic at the bottom, so when you bring it up, it goes like this. The fan, I really like though how the fan is really quiet, and the magnet's supposed to hold it, but you gotta put it down. And so this is what it looks like. And you can see our racks that we have stored in there. All the different ones. Pretty much it's electronics, so then you can just let it be and check on it. But I like jerky, it's drying out. You want to make sure you keep an eye on it all the time, because you don't want it drying out and then becoming all flaky and whatnot. So I'm going to pan this back over here, and then what I'm going to do is pull out one of the pieces that we already have done. So I'm going to wash my hands up this side. Now I'm going to move this over. And then I'm going to pull out one of the racks that I've been working on previously. So this rack is done. And you'll see how it kind of shrinks up to a little bit. And if you look at the texture and everything, you can tell how dry it is. It's just as good as any other way, and it tastes just as good.